Coming up on today's show, we're looking forward to talking with Jags linebacker Myles Jack and a dominant defense getting set to face the Steelers. Our sights are set on divisional weekend.
We've worked very hard to get ourselves to this spot.
We play this game to win championships.
Only 8 teams playing this weekend.
What a play, Marcus Mariota, who just threw and caught a touchdown pass.
I think I heard someone say the only way the Titans can win if it's a miracle in Music City. Must have been a miracle then.
People doubting us every week, so we just want to go out and shut those doubters up.
Not a scared nervous, but an excited nervous. It's an exciting moment.
Everybody's trying to beat us because we're Pittsburgh. It's business as usual for us.
I think they got the big B's or whatever they want to call it on TV.
Killer bees, I think that's what they call it.
I can care less what you call it.
This is going to get ugly in a hurry, yeah.
It's a one-game season.
This is what we've worked so hard for, is to have this opportunity.
We're just out here to get these W's, no matter how it takes.
We're not here just to get here. We want to make noise while we're here.
Start kind of a whole nother season right now.
Let's go to Minneapolis.
If you love football, then you love this weekend.
Here we go.
Here with Super Bowl champions Darren Woodson and Teddy Bruschi. Susie Colbert, Adam Schefter will be along as well, and we know it is not lost on any of the teams. Yeah. Only 8 left. Everybody else sitting at home watching. So, Teddy, for the Jags and Steelers, what's today?
It's the day before.
Heck yeah. Day before. the day before. It still is. All right, here we go. The Jags are trying to make a little history on Sunday. Only one team has won a road game at Heinz Field twice in a season. The 2007 Jaguars. Jacksonville won 30-9 in Week 5 this year. Ben Roethlisberger remembers that game all too well. He threw a career-high 5 interceptions in the loss, including 2 returned for touchdowns. He's thrown 22 touchdowns since that game. He'll get this top weapon back, too. Antonio Brown returns from his calf injury. Brown is the only player in the league with a 100-yard game against the Jags this season. And all the heat Blake Bortles takes, he's been good near the goal line. Bortles has 19 touchdown passes without a single interception in the red zone this season. It's our tape-off. Here's Trey Wingo with the intros.
First up in this divisional round tape-off, our defending champ. Controversial winner from a week ago. He won when the 50-50 vote was decided with a lunch bought for Judge Field Yates. But let's be honest, most weeks, he doesn't need a tie-breaking free lunch-induced swing vote. In fact, to sum up his tape-off prowess, we should channel the voice of his former head coach. Hey, man, I'm just trying to give you the opportunity to stop me every week, and you rarely do. Then again, he rarely lost in divisional play as a Patriot. 5-2 in this round with a sack and a 15-yard kick return for some reason. Here's the champ, Teddy Bruschi.
Ball security.
Our challenger, once again, has so many similar accolades as our champ. Just like Bruschi's Pats, his Cowboys won 3 Super Bowl titles in 4 seasons. But unlike Bruschi's Pats, they did it first. And we all know the sequel is never as good as the original, with the exception of Godfather 2. And, of course, Sharknado 3. But you know where I'm going. And the bigger the game, the bigger his Cowboys and former coach's swagger was. Remember Jimmy Johnson saying, quote, "We will win the ball game" before the NFC title game against the Niners? And this guy's pretty good in divisional round play as well. 4-1 with 2 picks, including one off Hall of Famer Brett Favre. Here he is, Darren Woodson.
All right, dude, here we go. Let's go.
Here we go. Divisional weekend tape-off. Expectations are high. I love the themes that we have going this weekend. Teddy, you're up first.
Okay, I'll start you off, Susie, and I'm going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers-Jacksonville Jaguars game, and it's about respect. You remember what Mike Mitchell said. We're going to play the Patriots again. Patriots? What? We can play them in hell. We can play them in Haiti. We're going to win. You talking about the Patriots already? Don't sleep on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Actually, I think I need to put you to sleep. I need to help you remember. So, oh, my Jaguar, you're getting sleepy. You're getting sleepy. Ben Roethlisberger, I'm going to remind you of what happened the last time you played these Jacksonville Jaguars. So take a sleep. Here's your dream. Listen to this sound. You remember this pick 6?
It's a new year. It's a new week. Everything. It's new big dogs around the NFL.
That's right, new big dogs in the NFL, and that's Jalen Ramsey and this defense. Whoa, you got to make that comeback catch. Mike Tomlin, tell him why.
Opportunities. You get combat catch opportunities. You get playmaking opportunities. You got to make them.
And yes, they got after you in the pass rush. Also, Ben, remember this Fowler coming at you, scratching you like a Jaguar right there. Wake it up, Ben. Snap out of it. Wake up. Here we go. You got to remember what they did to you. Mike Mitchell, I want to put you to sleep. Follow my Jaguar. Go to sleep. You got to remember this play, don't you? There you are. You got to take on that block and make it, or it's enjoy the offseason, Mike. You remember this play? Leonard Fournette, 90 yards. He's running. You know where he's going. There's Foxborough. There's Gillette Stadium. There's the AFC Championship game. Don't sleep on my Jaguars. Don't sleep on Leonard Fournette. Don't sleep on this team. Snap out of it. Wake up. Pittsburgh Steelers. This is what's going to happen if you don't respect the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ooh.
That was awesome.
That was great.
Wow.
We're all awake?
Here we go. Fire it up now. There you go.
Hey, Jacksonville Jaguars. We keep on talking about Blake Bortles, and everyone's calling Blake Bortles what? Trash? Oh, treasure. And a lot of people making this noise. Let's hear about Blake.
Like that. It's embarrassing to the whole organization, everybody on the team.
Is Bortles improving?
Trash.
You know, if how, you know, we're playing and how I'm playing is, you know, if that's trash, then I'm fine with being trash.
Trash? Who you calling trash? Now listen, you did have some bad days, and there's some garbage trucks that'll tell you you had some bad days where you threw some trash. There's some trash in there right there. This guy, a Pro Bowler basically. Listen, big-time players make big-time plays. I understand you threw some trash out there. You got to see where you're throwing. There's some flies around. That's some trash that you're throwing up there. That's unbelievable. Let's think about this. Let's go to the next play. Listen, that's some garbage. We get it. We get that. Let's get past this Blake Bortles. No more trash for you. Really? Here we go. Next time around,
What's that smell?
down the field, hey, no more trash, right, Blake? Well, maybe not. We got to throw some more trash out there. We're going to get this out of our system, Blake. Another trash by Bayard. Now, here's the treasure.
Didn't he say something the other day, like, if people think he trash, then he cool with it. We cool with it, too. Yeah, he balling right now.
Like I told y'all, man, Blake's coming around, man. To me, he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks.
Well, that's a reach. That's a reach. Top 5 quarterback, but okay. Anyway, we're going to throw some darts, Blake. Here's the darts that we're going to throw. That you remember that dart over the middle? That was money making it rain to Mickens here. And again, the hidden treasure, Blake. No one remembers. Look at the yards that you got with your legs. Go ahead and use the legs, Blake.
How much more do you have to do to silence the haters?
Yeah, it'll probably never stop, man. There's people that think LeBron James sucks, so if that happens, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that always think I suck.
People don't think you suck, Blake. This week, you will be the treasure that's going to be found in Pittsburgh. Blake Bortles, big game this week.
Yes. A little trash.
That was great.
I like the flies. I like the flies.
And you really have to credit Blake Bortles with his frame of mind, because he said it's on the way you want to look at it. You can look at the stats and all the things and say it was terrible.
That's right,
Or you can say things weren't going well, and they found a way to win.
Yeah. Ugly looking wins, they're still wins.
Right.
Get it done.
Doesn't matter.
They're in the playoffs.
Okay, tape off. We need your votes. Don't forget to vote at ESPN NFL.
Yeah.
Now, as we move on here, there are some other elements from this game that we need to address too. So, yesterday, before practice, All-Pro running back Le'Veon Bell told ESPN he's prepared to sit out a season or even retire if franchise tagged for the 2nd consecutive year, adding, "I hope it doesn't come to that, but I would definitely consider it." Bell played on a $12.1 million franchise tag in 2017, last July. He turned down a long-term contract because he felt the team didn't value his full skill set. As we welcome in NFL Nation's Jeremy Fowler with the Steelers, as always. So, Jeremy, Bell insists it isn't exactly the money. It's the value. He says, value me. You've had a number of one-on-one conversations with him about this. Is he for real on this?
Well, Susie, the money is going to talk in July, but the more I talk to this guy, the more I realize he might actually be for real. Le'Veon Bell is a guy of conviction and grandiose ideas. He believes in 3,000-yard seasons and record-breaking contracts and all that good stuff. And so, you know, Bell believes that precedent is more important than him just taking a few extra $1 million. He recalled to me yesterday a story about new teammate Stephen Ridley. Told him how crazy he was for passing on a huge long-term deal last summer. He told him, hey, that's according to my plan. I was going to go into this year, bet on myself, have an injury-free season, and I just touched the ball 400-plus times. I'm not going to do it again unless I get the right money.
Well, it seems like, you know, whatever it is, there's a lot of noise that has nothing to do with the Jags. Is that just outside perception? What is the locker room really like right now?
Well, covering this team is exhausting, Susie. It's really a weekly exercise. And I just spoke with a veteran player at his locker for an interview, and he said, as long as you don't ask me about Bell's contract. But then he smirked and he said, look, we embrace this chaos. It is what it is, and it's sort of fueled us. And Mike Tomlin said today, you guys make it a story. We don't make the drama in our own locker room. And one other veteran player told me, look, if a guy says something stupid, we're just going to be real petty and make fun of him behind the scenes or even in front of other media. So it's a loose locker room. They've always been pretty honest. Sometimes stories come out of that, but they just roll with it.
What about a quick update on Artie Burns?
Yeah, Susie, I just spoke with Artie in the locker room. He had a wrap around his right knee, but he got an interception in practice. He said he feels pretty good. He said that he's going to keep going snap to snap until that knee hurts, and then maybe they have to adjust, but he plans on playing the entire game, Susie.
Good stuff, Jeremy. As always, Jags Steelers, the early game Sunday. So let's go back to Bell as we say hi to Adam. And Adam, why didn't they get this deal done last July? You just heard what Jeremy said. What other layers can you add here?
Well, they came very close to getting the deal done, and there were some people that were optimistic it was going to get done. And at the last moment, Le'Veon Bell said, this is not a deal that I am prepared to sign. You remember at that point in time, he was arguing his value. They came in with a big deal at that point in time. The numbers were close, and there was some optimism at the deadline that they would get the deal done. Obviously, it stings Le'Veon Bell that it did not get done. He wants to get a record deal done. And his points about what he should be paid are spot on. His timing is spot off. Couldn't this wait until after the Pittsburgh Steelers season? They're about to play in a divisional playoff game, and we're talking about a contract that's not going to be addressed until the offseason anyway? It just seems very odd, the timing of these comments. His point is right. The timing is way off.
Right, and then Adam, it's like he came back after that and tried to clean it up with a tweet where he said, I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. I can care less about what happens after this season. My biggest thing is being focused on play right now, which sort of contradicts what he said in the locker room. But, you know, you touched on don't sleep on the Jags. Is there too much talk for you guys going on?
Right now, I mean, the emotions, I'll stick to Le'Veon Bell's comments right here, and those emotions of, I think he realizes, too, his offseason could be 2 weeks away. That's when his offseason starts. So the emotion that he's going through, I think he's showing how much it bothered him all year. Was the franchise tag? Yes. Or the $12 million he got this year, whatever. But still, he wants the long term. He wants that security. And it was a risk, still a risk for him to play the way he played that one of the most dangerous positions in running back, getting hit every play. So I can understand where he's coming from. But yes, bad timing.
Bad timing. You're right. I think it's about the animosity that he had playing this year under the franchise tag. Doesn't want that to happen again next year. But at the same time, the timing of this right now, their main goal, and we're not just talking about Le'Veon Bell. We're talking about the 52 other guys in that locker room. The focus needs to be on the Jacksonville Jags this week. That's it. Because that same team, the Jags came up and bullied them around the last time around. The contract situation, put it in your agent's hands and let him be the bad guy through the situation.
Humor is a powerful tool. You heard them talking about, ribbing him about it in the team meeting and stuff like that. I remember doing that also all the time. Somebody would say something that was, you know, you're sort of on eggshells. Is it going to be addressed? And you just give them a hard time about it and you ride them about it. That can help you get through that distraction.
Yeah, another layer here for Bell, too.
It is.
Bring it in the playoffs.
That's right.
Right?
I mean,
how do you do in your biggest game?
This guy wants to set precedents. He wants to win through the playoff, win the Super Bowl, and then get that big contract.
That's the right formula for him.
Yeah, we'll talk about how the Jags plan to slow him. Also coming, the Saints visit the Vikings in a divisional round showdown. We'll dive into the changes since their Week 1 matchup. And if the Vikings defense can slow down the Saints' high-powered offense, plus Jags linebacker Miles Jack joins the show. We'll preview their upcoming rematch against the Steelers. Also, what's it like for him? You remember all the stuff with the draft and injury? Has he had a chip on his shoulder? We'll talk about it.
Are brought to you by Extra Gum. Give extra, get extra.
So let's get into Saints and Vikings, a rematch from Week 1. So much is different about these teams. Start with the Saints' running game. Adrian Peterson tied for a team-high 18 rush yards for New Orleans, cutting into both Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara's workload. Cornerback P.J. Williams tied for the team lead in snaps, while rookie Ken Crawley didn't see the field. Marshawn Lattimore, he's been huge, of course, for the Saints in the secondary. Vikings quarterback Sam Bradford threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Case Keenum was on the sidelines. Keenum saw his first action the next week against Pittsburgh. His backfield mate in that game was Dalvin Cook. The explosive rookie led the team with 22 rushes for 127 yards, but a knee injury early in the year will delay his return until 2018. Week 1 seemed so long ago.
You know, there's still things schematically that you can look at, but yeah, I mean, obviously we're looking at more recent tape, yeah, they're a completely different defense, completely different team, but so are we. So I think both teams are probably looking more recent film than that one, but still I think there's things that you can pull away from that game as well.
Yeah, I've looked at it several times. You know, I'm not going to get into it. Yeah, we do. Sometimes I get ticked off about, you know, well, they have to find their identity, and, you know, that was week 1. Hell, did anybody in this room think we're going to be 13-3 and be playing the divisional games that week? Did we know our identity? I mean, everybody said we weren't going to be worth a lick anyway, so I just think, you know, just everybody's like that.
Yeah, he's a little edgy.
Us against the world.
It was our Monday Night Football opener, and like Coach is saying, I mean, who knew, right? Nobody had any idea what the identities of either team was, and then you're reminded it was Sam Bradford and Dalvin Cook. So from your perspective, can you really take anything away from that week 1 match?
Now, I think the one thing you can, if you are the Minnesota Vikings, the one thing you can take away is defensively, they got hurt in the screen game with Mark Ingram in that game. And it wasn't so much the running game, and it wasn't, you know, it was them throwing the ball deep downfield, but the screen game is going to be a huge concern for Mike Zimmer and his football team, because he knows Sean Payton. And in his time in 2003 with the Dallas Cowboys, both these guys, Sean Payton and Mike Zimmer, on the same staff, he knew that Sean Payton was very creative in the screen game. So that could be a huge issue this week.
Individual matchups also. I remember going up against you. A pass rush move worked here. I'm a linebacker. I took on a block. How did I get off of it there? Those type of things. You should revisit this week 1 game. I know Adam Thielen was sort of flippant about it, but Zimmer, you could tell he's watched that game, because also you can just tell, Susie, what were they thinking coming out of halftime, openers, 3rd and long, things like that.
And one thing we knew then, and we know now, Drew Brees is one of the best in the game, and Harrison Smith, he's an all-pro. So what do you see there?
That's right. Harrison Smith's going to be huge in this game, Susie, coming down versus the run versus those 2 running backs in Kamara and Ingram, and also in the passing game. He does so much. One of the best safeties in the game. This is an interception against the Packers. See how instinctive he is. He doesn't bite on the play-action fake, and he doesn't go straight back. He goes to where he figures with this rollout by the quarterback, he has to expand back to his defensive right and then anticipate that throw. Great interception here, great hands, anticipating the throw to Jordy Nelson there. He has to tackle. Here it is. This is just a one-on-one play that I clipped from week 1, how he tackles, he gets low, he grabs on, and the cavalry comes. They have great pursuit, but he's a great tackler. And then me against Drew Brees. I'm Harrison Smith. I'm playing a flat curl flat over here. I'm going deep to short. What's Drew looking for? I know he's not going to hit that player in the flat, because I know he wants it deep. He's going to go for this deep over. I anticipate the deep over while still playing the flat. I know he's going to throw it. I bait him. I make a great play. This is what you can gather from week 1. I know you, Drew Brees. I know the book on you, Drew Brees. Those type of things. Harrison Smith, a great player, a huge game from him, and the Vikings should be feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, Drew Brees and this running game. Right? So there's a key, too, because we know the Vikings have, like, young, rising 3-down linebackers.
Yeah, and one thing they do is, like you just said, Eric Kendricks is one, Anthony Barr another one, and they flat out can cover space, and they create big plays for this football team. The athleticism, and here they are in the A-gap right here, both acting like they're going to blitz. One thing Anthony Barr does see, he sees Stafford looking outside. He says, well, not blitzing. I'm coming outside, and makes this great play in the open field against Golden Tate. Just read and react. Big-time linebackers making big-time plays. And here they go again. Kendricks is in the A-gap. Anthony Barr is sitting back about 5 yards deep. And Kendrick gets his eyes the same way you just talked about earlier, getting his eyes back on the quarterback.